It's a historical moment in the 13th century, and it's very rich in its texture, and it's like a Shakespearean, tragedy of betrayal. And I think, times are very different, obviously, to now, and it was sort of life or death, really. Every over their shoulder, they had to be on their toes. So, it's a different time. So yeah, I mean, he's quite a, it can get pretty brutal, my character, I think, so, but it comes from, there's a real vengeance, I think, in his veins.
Because we see him at the start, and he's sort of asking to be recognised again. He's asking for the family to be recognised, and he's shunned, he's turfed out.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And his only way back in is with Robert, who at the same time has betrayed his family.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's quite. Can you imagine sort of being able to forgive in order to kind of get what you want, having to side with someone who isn't necessarily your friend?
Well, I think they became, he was his sort of right-hand man. He became such a loyal companion to Robert the Bruce, so they became very close. I think they were ultimately betrayed by, their king at the time, King of England. So, at a time when the nation was divided, so they needed someone to stand up and unite them. And they became a bunch of outlaws, essentially, and hunted down. So they had to fight life and limb,
I mean, did you particularly sort of channel anyone for Douglas? Because he like I say, he's pretty vocal, pretty.
Yeah, I think you do. I mean, hopefully, I was going to try and channel him. I think in a sense of, I can only go by what historical research there is, and so I'll read as much as I can about him and how he would have worked, and within the boundaries of this film, what Mackenzie and I could kind of bring together. But yeah, I think it's interesting. He's James the Good. And it was the Black Douglas, depending on what angle you're looking at it, So yeah, he put the fear into people for sure, and he became a notorious warrior for Scotland. So
I mean, he's pretty much the out in this film. He's the kind of main action man. They taking back his castle.
Yeah,
ninja. I mean, he's a bit of a ninja. Isn't
yeah, I think this was the beginnings of guerrilla warfare, and they had to have more strategic ideas. And James Douglas was a huge part of that. I mean, he was a lot younger than the others, but he was a sort of a commanding officer by the end of it, a lieutenant in a way, because they had to think of ideas to sack their own castles and do sort of reckless things. The tactics were brutal. I think I think we have moments of it where they poison the well by throwing the corpses down the well and things like that, and poisoning the water. So the guerrilla warfare was to eliminate. However, chivalry was the end of chivalry. There's this whole sort of grace period, and now it was just brutal.